nutrition to potatoes. They also use half the amount of water because they're little, so we get to harvest them a lot sooner. They take a lot less out of the soil, and they taste amazing. And we grow purples and reds and pinks and yellows, so they're again more nutritious, a lot of vitamins and minerals. And you can show your support and help save water by buying that instead of buying the conventional russet. As Nick, is often heard saying, we have 3 boats a day: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you want to buy products that use less water, buy those products and don't buy the products that use a lot more water. And as we see the market decline, possibly with conventional russets, then people will stop growing as many and that use a lot of water. So those are a few of the sort of initial thoughts on water. We're working on a ROC certification, if you're familiar with that. So it's sort of the new
There we go.
with it, and it's regenerative organic certified. It's a little bit tough. It's now the 1% of the 1%. So if 1% of the organic, 1% of those farms are also regenerative.
Everything you see is there's never one like it anywhere in the world. She never.
We're really trying to
I have my male ones. These ones are really nice.
Really take care of our soil. So majority farming
Snap-on ones,
and this is a way for us to certify to actually get paid a little more, or to possibly work with some additional customers that would get paid on a fair price because we're a regenerative camp. So Amy's Organics that I mentioned earlier, Daily Harvest, also those are milk from us. And these are some huge companies with huge buying power that really are looking at beyond organic.
She's
really
looking at she does pop culture.
So I think buying, sort of from companies that aren't just sort of brainwashing or, talking the talk, but really buying from local farms, trying to farm the right way, use less water, less of a negative impact on the soil, and continue
reach out to her. She does different work.
Family farm. That is how you can support and help save water and help save. So I want to ask real quick though, why is it working for you, and why aren't all the other potato farmers and cattle ranches in the valley doing the same thing? My husband would say because luckily we met, and I love telling the story. I love this, the sales and marketing of it. So for us, we're able to find the customers or find the products that they want us to grow, and then we go out and grow it. So, it essentially is, it's a whole job for me that I do, and I love to do. So kind of back to that, how can you get involved in farming? Tell the story, spread the word. If you do have a background in sales and marketing, maybe work for a farm and help them spread the word and do the part or make the introduction. So really just, I guess, changing our path, it is. We all know how hard it can be to change, especially when you have that many generations sort of behind you, or it's always been done this way. But luckily, we are now year 7, my husband and I, living down here. The farm is able to support us. But it's taken a lot of time and a lot of, work and a lot of energy, but it's also so rewarding. So it can be done. I mean, anyone can do it. It just takes, innovation and time and energy and passion. I want the story of the San Juan Ranch and the Jones Farm to be the story of the San Luis Valley, right?
The soil regenerative agriculture is really doing a series of tours. We have one more coming September 29th. We're going to be going to Jones Farms. We go to Rocky Farms, which is our valleys, states, and nations of creative generous soil farmers. And then we go to Star and Mount Millie, Lazy to our goat dairy and all that. We do busting. It's really good time.
How you doing today? Very good. Thank you.
4 to 6. See what's going on.
A little bit of background information. She hand built every one of these. They're all natural and they're one-off. They're replicated. They're all original. There's no plastic or resins. Yep.
Are you doing a camera thing?
Doing a live camera that way,
to buy the products and invest your money in these ways.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's valleyridgefoodhub.com. You can get a reserve ticket September 29th.
Yeah, and just to add a little bit to that from the soil conservation side, and back to answer your question, why this was doing this? Why not or rocky? If you don't know how to do something, never done it before, this is why. I don't know if you're going to make the same amount of money the next. You're going to be able to keep producing after. You have a hard year and maybe you tried something different and that will keep you. But what the soil conservation districts are trying to do is eliminate that fear. So we started rolling out a program this year, the STAR Plus program. And it's a soil health program focused on conserving not only our soil, also our water resources. You can't have one without money. So that focuses on livestock integration, continual living root, integrating soil nutrient management, other different concepts like soil conservation. And we are providing a little bit of financial assistance to those producers as well as probes so we can help them monitor how these practices are helping their soil as well as soil temporary as well. But we're just asking them to dedicate one field or one part of their pasture or even half of a field. It's not like they're not putting their whole production system on the ground. Test out at least one new soil conservation. So that way they can kind of dip their toe in the water without having to be completely afraid of losing everything going on. Just to see that they still watching while focusing on soil and water conservation.
I tell her I'm there.
Well, let's see. You know what? I love that. It's one thing for you to be very good, but it's another thing to hear it coming from you. I mean, that's pretty cool. Like that.
Thank you.
You know, the farms.
Yeah, she does. All the stones are natural. There are no plastics or resins.
They do make male jewelry too.
Yep.
So
Yeah, male jewelry.
Oh wow!
Yep. Yep. And they go in the head.
Oh,
Incentive. Tire their water.
They definitely got something unique.
Even though
She's been working on this for a long time. She's his third year out here.
well, this landscape is that's how the grasses have evolved.
usually they
It's a compacted but
rainforests are actually pretty useful.
not allow people who are trying to
Altoids are very
do the
strong
right
when you
thing
have
by
them.
making
Yeah.
what did you do? I
The whole thing of Altoids in like 2 days. You know the conversation.
So I think we need to kind of shift our mind
Really look around and see if something
taking
speaks to you.
something completely
She always
not allowing anything else.
Might be.
also.
She does pretty well. She's attempting in something I'm trying to, like what was beat it
Those are
together.
some things that we
Trying to
could change pretty drastically. Pretty.
I'm pretty sure I have to go find an ATM, but I'm looking for it.
She does credit sales as well. Yeah, we
Exactly.
that's what everything. I'm the tech side of everything, so I get everything else set up.
Helpful and in some ways helpful.
How should all these necklaces?
This government, it's really at the end of the day, farmers.
So the necklaces over here are 30 wide.
Yes, everything from here kind of is 55. Here's a little bit more.
So
50.
since it's working,
No, just the materials.
This is a crop. We planted after potato harvest in the fall.
Everything's real. No plastics, no.
You have these are real turquoise beads. These are real bones, real bones. These are agates and glass.
Is this aquamarine?
That is adventure. Do you know what type of quartz this is? It's a clear crystal quartz. Nice. So that's a clear crystal. That one's a clear crystal. This one is a clear crystal
the 80s, just as a cover crop, just simply
And then I've got a Torlamine quartz
over our soil so that it's not.
and these are some citrine,
fall, winter, spring,
some rose quartz there.
situation that we're starting to see.
Then we have
And all of these is this is a turquoise, turquoise.
Let me pick.
This is why I'm excited about our work.
That's awesome.
Like some help save climate. Well, I'm not getting paid for it, so why would you put time, money, energy into
This is known as Damascus
getting
steel.
paid, and what what dollar
It's a
amount you
Japanese
want
style
to
of
get paid for.
plate
So,
making.
for example, they said,
And
oh,
it's
the green
like
elevator
very,
paying us
very,
30
very
cents.
light.
You do only get paid to
It's-
The old
if we
stuff
get paid 40 cents
was,
a pound,
but
we would
now
change
that
it.
it's
Yeah,
kind
no
of
problem. Let's do
renewed.
that.
New people are
what
starting
I'm
to make
working
it,
on
and
right
it's
now
it's not as
with
good as the old stuff is.
She can. How much she can add? I believe she can add more to it. Let me ask her.
It widows very well.
I believe
Yes.
she can add it
Yes, it
just
does.
as
a little bit of a higher
But
price.
you
she does custom work
chop
too.
40 cents a pound.
without it.
Yeah, it looks like she could add some.
Yeah, certainly it's the style of
the
the
cover crop.
You have a bigger, thicker soil.
Can I get you a
Yes,
chop.
of course.
In
Oh,
the soil for a year, and then they harvest it and resell it. So my
And
plan
my
in the
red
next year is to get 10 farmers to plant 60 acres. 30 acres is simply just a cover crop. 30 acres is a cash crop that will produce approximately 1 million pounds of rye, which might sound scary to some, but it's really not that scary. We as a small farm produce over 4 million pounds of potatoes and about 300,000 pounds of grain every year. And we're one of the
What's a jeweler
smallest
without a
farms in
mirror?
the valley. So 1 million pounds of rye, no
I
problem.
don't know if it's my calendar, but I like
Essentially prevent
it. I'm gonna go with
used in your baking.
That's how it
It's
goes.
delicious. A lot of people
let me call my husband. I haven't used my child's
caraway seeds because in a lot of
Because I do it
traditional
in
New
here.
York baking.
No
and,
problem.
First they should
jellies,
speak
a lot of
themselves.
people
Yes.
think that they don't like rye because it tastes like caraway
Yeah,
seeds.
call
In
it
fact, rye is very neutral. Has a little bit of like a cinnamon flavor, amazing flavor profile.
What
Brownie.
do you do, ma'am? Do you have any questions?
No, I'm gonna bring my niece over here so she'll
Salted for inland.
Okay. Well, just a little info. It was all real. And they're all natural. We made every one of them by hand. And there are no replications. They are one and onlys. She designs them once and that's it. And she guarantees all her work.
We've got beautiful things to say. So we bring them here.
Okay. We'll be here all day. How you doing today?
We're gonna do it. Say
It's been since I've used it, it's been like a year. What is the code?
So that's a thing that I'm not supposed to be
On my
Everything
smart one
is
card,
natural and
making-
everything is no
having
glass
goals
or
to
resin.
put in our
And
action
everything is
plan
original.
over the next 2 years. That program would be one of the things that I would love to see as
She's
a
been
goal
at
that
this for a couple years now, and this is
initiative that
We're
we can
outing now
make
here? Yep, she is not doing much, but she does. And everything she says she
Did anybody else see the water conservation, soil health? Are the questions? It's actually there. Yeah. Yeah,
his bread was made of
sure. But you might know. Well, look how it clip onto your belt.
oh my god. I'm gonna have
It's like
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is.
actually it's pretty good if I have white.
Yes.
Choose the farmers that you're getting.
Then it would be
And,
there's
farms here.
Yeah.
There's if you don't know any, talk to Nick.
Now
Because he
11
works with
15.
over 100 producers around Colorado and a lot right here in the valley. So there's a lot of opportunity, and we all actually participate in agriculture every day because we're all eating food every day.
Okay. All right, thank you, babe. I'll give it a try, or I'll just run back to the car and get my other credit card.
Yeah. So he asked if
I'm pissed
anybody
I've
here
got
is
to
involved
get
in
your
the
shoes, too.
Southern
I know a lot
Rocky
about those
Mountain
things.
agro.
used to
I
study
told
those
him to
kinds of
wear
things.
the other
Yeah.
ones. All right, love you, bye.
All the planning.
Oh, okay. So Ben, I live in. Bye-bye.
to attend this next year.
Here we go. I'm going to give it a shot.
Okay.
You said either my last 4 digits of my social or Dad's birthday.
I'm going to try to so.
Comes out to 3012 with tax. All right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't even need it.
Nope, you didn't need it.
All right.
Thank you.
I was expecting I was going to have to rent the car.
Oh no. But please take a card.
Oh, thank
And
you.
if there's any problems with it, email it. The website's on there. And also, if you carry that card next year, we'll be here next year, you get 10% off. We're starting a little trading game with our business cards. If you
It
bring
happens
one
in Monte
from
Vista.
a previous year, you get 10% off of anything that year.
It's very cool.
Yeah, and I suspect you guys were that last year. Well, one of the other things, one of the other goals here that I want to get into was, so 2 of the groups said this. It was the community members and food businesses. This was a high priority for them. It was to increase the production, sale, and consumption of locally grown foods. Like, this is a priority for people. And I have to say that there is a perceived and actually a real barrier to accessing local food.
Thank you.
It's-
So,
there are a few
Amazon-
places you can do it. You can get online and shop at the Valley Roots Food Hub and obviously buy a lot of local food. Or at the Elephant Club right here in Crestone. And Michelle, I would love it if you want to be any
She was doing
in Illinois has some local food. But otherwise, you can find it. In the Mercantile right here. I know Fia's in Crestone.
Money on your tools. Then.
That's what I said.
You know, groceries are hard.
Otherwise,
and
what's the point?
unfortunately, Alamos is a really
Right.
difficult place, and there's
Like,
some
anything
places
you
that
have.
like, yeah, I want to know, you know, how we can shore up this gap. We produce some amazing
I
food
started out
here,
so basic.
and how can we keep it here?
cheap Walmart
Yeah,
7.
so I think those locations are a great start, and we have a
I
great
started
start,
making
and we
more
have
and
a
more and
really
more and seeing what I
diverse
could do with
online market
the basic
for
minimum.
folks at home, plus wholesaling.
Because I'm
We have
living in
some
a
sleeping
tiny small
cities.
home right
We've
now
got
while
a
we're
lot of
playing.
great customer
So
support,
there's
and that
grass,
which
not a
is
lot of-
which is
12 by
right
33.
on
Last year we had
here,
5
so
people
it's a
in
great
there.
base.
This
Wow.
is like
I
gold.
did want to
I thought
bring up
5
one thing.
cats
This
were
might be
five
Actually, well,
full-grown
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We
it
have a
is.
lot of
Silly
people.
For most,
Oh yeah, yes.
yeah, it is.
Ours is only 16 by
That's off the
This-
USDA,
this
or
looks like
16 by 8 is 97.
Yeah.
organization.
Yeah, well,
And I know
our
that
house we're
people
building
with
is a
the boots on the
sandbag. It's
ground
made out of
doing
Cal
an
earth
amazing job, and they're hard
Yeah,
to
yeah.
What
Me
is
and her,
it made
we
out
There's
got
a
to
lot of money
somewhere around
being used in the market system. It's a great thing.
get that bag to the proper height. And we decided to add another 5 feet to it to add a log.
Just a whole bunch
So we're
of
just like, yeah, we're just making it harder for ourselves.
Remind us as we scale,
You're making it how you
build
want it.
out,
Yes,
build
that's
out
what I told her,
staff,
and that's why I said
build
we need a
out
vaulted ceiling, and we're ultimately deciding possibly on a living room
if that money all of a
and
sudden
making it
is
so
gone,
that
and we
everything
have
about the
local
house stays cool in summer,
dollars
warm in the winter, and it
That's
plays
very
into
into
the
that
ground.
system, we're going to be
You wanna add a heater.
businesses.
Well, we do have a heater. We have a rocket
So,
stove.
not to be all
But with our walls are so thick, they're 18
that's
inches
not
thick.
spectrum, but I just
That
wanted to
they
bring it up
will-
that it's really going to be about
All
local
we have to do
people
is
putting
turn
their
the stove
local
on with
dollars.
the dinner.
And I know it's hard in the house, and I know the local
Heat it for the rest of the
process is
day.
more expensive. However, that is what we're talking about because it's so much more than just
Very
cooking dinner at
cool.
night.
Thank
It's
you.
about saving the soils in the valley and saving our water. So it is breakfast, lunch, and dinner 365 days a year. Again, this local money and getting free food from these federal programs, is great and stuff. But just remember that we got to put our hard-earned dollars into these people and into these systems.
Okay. You good, love?
So I've been here for about 3.5 years at this ranch, and I would say about 2 years ago, we had Crestone Food Bank reach out to us. They had received USDA money through a grant, and they wanted to buy whole animals from us to bring to the food bank and distribute to everyone here. And that was what not only myself, but my bosses, their core value is feeding the valley. I mean, it's really easy to go find, someone who's going to pay outside of this valley the price that you need. But we really wanted the food to stay here.
and feed our community. And that to us made the most sense in the world. So I agree with Nick. That money is going to go away eventually. But we need to, as a community,
It's handmade by myself,
continue to support
and
one
it's all natural
and
materials.
support
There's
keeping
no
our
cost.
food here. That's what your producer.
Cool.
And with this new bill for
And I
local
do
school, to
if
start
anything
buying
has
from
ever
local
happened,
producers,
I'll do a
we
repair
really need
for free.
to
I'll do commissions and
fight for that and make sure that
anything like that.
we're
Beautiful.
supporting the schools to be able to do that, whether it's training or buying equipment or just figuring out how to get a delivery system to bring them whatever they need. I mean, that's how we're going to do it. It's wonderful if you can go to Simple Foods and buy all your produce locally and all your meat locally. But if we want to keep it in the community, we have to think about our neighbors as well. And right now, this valley is one of the poorest school districts in Colorado. And those kids deserve to have local food just as much as we do. And so I think you're spot on, Nick. As a whole, we need to think about the entire valley. How can we support keeping our food here? Because again, as consumers, you have the power to make sure there's dollars available for producers, to make sure there's dollars available for these institutions to buy locally, and make sure that you voice that. But that's really important to you. Because as a producer, you can say, I have the best beef and it's the most nutritional, food that you can give to a child, but that's great, but if they can't afford it, they can't afford it.
So are there what is easy to produce here that we could easily be adding value to that maybe we're not already? Where that's like another question. Like, what's the low hanging fruit? What's going to be one of the easier things to just add to what's available on the store shelves here?
Well, no one's really doing it, but kosher grows everywhere here and really, really well. It's probably one of the most thrifty plants in the valley, and there are animals that will eat it. I think we need to rethink the proteins that we eat because yet again, animals were here before we were. They evolved with this landscape, and we can't take them off because we think it's bad for the environment. We need them now more than. I would really advocate for people to start growing sheep and goats because they use so much less water, and we need to start eating that. That's the reality. Cows are wonderful. They're great. I love them. But we need to start thinking about what does the land need? What makes sense for this? What makes sense for the water we have available? Not just what we want to do because we always have done it. I've had this crazy idea of just not planting anything on the half circle we have and just let that kosher grow and graze sheep, and hopefully someone will buy it. And with fire mitigation, goats and sheep are the easiest way to make sure that we don't have fires in this valley, which is going to happen. It's happening everywhere. We had a fire a couple of weeks ago down by Southport. It's going to happen, but if we can, in a cost-effective way, raise this landscape so that we're protecting this valley and everything on the valley floor that's essential agriculture included. To me, that makes a lot of sense. So that's my goal.
Yeah, that's perfect, and totally leads into sort of how to get involved. Again, the initial question with farming. So lambs, there used to be a ton of sheep produced in the when we first moved down here, we did, we tried, we did sheep, we did chickens, we did turkeys. It was amazing. It was beautiful. It was selling chickens at the farmer's market in Alamosa. So that's another, that hasn't gotten mentioned yet, with all the different markets we have. We do have a vibrant Alamosa farmer's market on Saturday. We have a short season, as we all know here. And then on Wednesdays, there's the Mercadillo at the farm park, which is so beautiful and incredible also. So, additional ways to get fresh local veggies and meat and beans and all of these beautiful things grown here. And they are really available. But back to sort of the animals on the land. So we, sort of each year trial these different things, and it was so fun and beautiful, but so hard. And, when it came to the sales and marketing now and the butchering of all of these animals, we just realized for what we were getting paid and how much work we were putting into it, as well as with our potatoes and grains, we just couldn't continue to do it. So essentially every young person I meet, I just beg them, like, if anyone wants to get into learning and wants to get into chickens or wants to do turkeys, we have all of the infrastructure. I mean, we have the fences, we have the land, we have the food, we have all the processing equipment, we have relationships. I mean, I will even give you my customer list. We just need it to be on our land. We need it to be the regenerative, rotation. So if anyone is interested in trying, want to buy 50 head of lamb, want to get some chickens, we've got the chicken tractors, we've got all of the infrastructure. We just don't have the additional time and energy to do it. So there is so much opportunity in so many ways that we can use what we have and build additional businesses. I mean, there's a ton of chicken farms. Boulder Chicken, one of the biggest chicken facilities in Boulder, closed a couple of years ago. A lot of chicken farmers closing their doors because it's so expensive. The way I look at it is back to the collaboration. Like if you're working with the farm, and we, maybe do a share, and we already have the land, so you're not needing to put a ton of money into it. It really can work. It's all about that collaboration, which is why we work with San Juan Ranch. We don't want to be raising our own cows, working with the officers selling feed because we don't have the time and energy for that. So they get to do that, and then we get cover crop raised. We get all of that healthy nitrogen and nutrients in our soil. It's win-win.
This is a place for the organization of soil to come in. Interest in zero for young people. That's, I guess it's the education. Again, getting back to collaboration. You don't have the equipment or the infrastructure or any of this stuff, but if you're able to start with a zero interest and someone who can teach you how to use those things, I think it's a no-brainer. And also, I think, again, we need to change our mind about, in most of those cases, because, depending.
Those ones have an interesting story.
Having answers there,
And those
might
ones-
not.
Which ones?
Once,
Yes. Those, the back.
and we need to
gold
change our
plated
mind
ones,
about what other
I
people
did
actually
get my
doing
mom.
for
She
that.
bought them like
In
she bought
fact,
it actually
should the producer be
5 years ago, and she never
those
worked, so it
animals
was
to
too
our
hard.
land?
And she gave it
And
to me.
that
And
has
she's
to
like, maybe you can make something out of
If
these.
the producer has
Something like that.
infrastructure to do
Can
all the
Russell
stuff,
darn it? And I was like, that would look
a
perfect.
zero gain.
That's really nice.
We are not a lot of producers that want to put all that.
They're what, 30?
Yes.
So we need to change our mind. And if we want a better valley, if we want soil health, if we want all these things, we have to change the way
Gorgeous stuff.
these land management companies and what they're actually doing for the prosperity of the land.
Shrink it down. These corners. Okay, sure. $5 bill.
Encouraging us to rework, feeding the soil, building the soil, growing the soil by doing these practices. Back to sort of teaching the neighbors, that is really an important reminder. I know that neighbors that aren't necessarily doing these practices are watching us. We are being watched. They're watching to see if we're going to be successful, if we are going to make it. If we're just talking this talk and then we go make it next year, then of course we're not going to want to do that. So, there's people over the fence watching what, George is doing and we're, but also a reminder, we live in a community, multi-generations of friends and family, and we all go to the same schools and we all work together. And so also really trying to have a message of kindness and respect and love is important. It's like, this is the way we're doing it and this is working for us and this is what we've chosen to do and maybe here's our why, but not, criticizing and not having judgment and you're using more water and we're not. It can be really challenging and I've really had a heavy weight on my shoulders, especially over the last year with my word and how I act, and just such a reminder of being, respectful and kind and pioneering the way with light and love. Because whenever we throw stones or we're critical, they're never going to want to do one thing if that's on their own. Driving down Highway 112 and Highway 17, and all of a sudden the van cheers up, and you can see in front of you. You hear what? Then we're spreading the word how it's a driver one state at a time.
Not to interrupt you guys, but if we do have questions, we would love for you to be available on the live stream because people will be able to hear you. So just let me know if you guys and Jay would like to do this.
Asked or
She makes everything handmade. Nothing is plastic or she uses no reference of plastic. Everything is real. And everything is one and only. She only makes papers of it and that's it. I'm the market.
I need outlets for food to be sold.
Please, we don't do any e-sales, but we do custom pieces across our website.
Sure.
So,
Yes to all of it. The kitchen.
Yep, if you save the card and you're here next year, she takes 10% off. We're starting a little card collection with our business cards. One of them, it's an automatic 10% off. So it'll be a lot of fun.
You need the space. You need the whole shebang. So you can't pack too many people in there. So we do have an opening in a minute. Yes, we
Thank
do.
you. Have a good day.
I like to see more restaurants plug in the system. Food trucks like John Beyond place stuff these pizza out. Yes, absolutely.
But
And I'll just add, kind of back to the restaurant thing. It is. I struggle living down here when it comes to restaurants. We have so much incredible food around us, and then there's so few restaurants, specifically in Alamosa, that you can go to and really eat a lot of that local food. So I guess just back to the vote, right? Like when you are eating out in those restaurants, you are voting for that food and where that food comes from. And so just really be mindful of that and really trying to support and encourage the people that are, maybe spending more money trying to people buying from the food hub as opposed to, full of food and shamrocks.
she's made every one of these handmade. She does not do any plastics. Stuff. Everything is okay. It's also a one-off. She never makes something she never made. If they ever break, you give me a card.
Instructs to carry local food. Ask them what on the menu is local because that's what I want to eat. And if we don't bring it up, they're not going to make the effort. So it's really up to the consumer. And a little bit of a few minutes left. So I want to, any last questions or comments for panelists? Kim.
She also does custom work too. Come on, design or something.
And pretty new to the valley. Is there any connection between the university in all of the carrying products? On sustainable regenerative food production in agriculture. So from that level, there definitely is some education showing more interest in these programs. What local, a lot of them are also these kinds of programs. They're FFA, supporting programs. Integrate a lot of students into businesses. Actually, just about about contributions,
University is state food programs or species. So these huge contracting companies, Excel, operates on campuses. So these businesses are there to make money. Period. So they're a little tough to work with. There's barriers. However, Colorado did pass Proposition F. Yes, it will be going into effect this year. That is to get K to 12 schools to be ordering local. And there's also funding for pots and pans and infrastructure. So there's good things at the Colorado state level happening for K to 12.
Education. Inflation has multiple programs. One of them is the Rio Grande Farm Park, the corner of 160 and 17 in Alamosa, and they have a high school internship program called the Rising Stewards Program, which is super cool. It happens all summer, so that's something. And CSU also has an extension office, which has various kinds of like food preservation education and different things that adults can participate in. So there are some things, but yeah, getting local food into the schools is a whole.
It'd be really interesting, and I don't know. There seems like there's people here that could maybe chew on this and think about it. I think having a producer and chef or whatever you want to call them, kind of fair or education events that people can meet one another within the valley who are producing food and also cooking the food, especially with this new within the K-12 system. I think there needs to be more of a connection between the people who grow our food and who are cooking it here and creating those connections and networks. So I think something like that could be really beneficial for people who are working within these kitchens in the schools who maybe have some challenges, and letting producers and other people hear those things, I think would be really helpful. Because yet again, as a community, we need to support one another in order for these changes to
I think that would be an incredible event, like maybe a round table at the Ag Club. I mean, that's how we got connected with Boulder Valley School District. We were at the Colorado Fruit and Vegetable Growers Association, and they have a speed dating session for producers and buyers. And Boulder Valley School District buyer was like, "Oh, do you grow potatoes? We need potatoes." And 30 days later, we were sending a pallet of potatoes to them. So it doesn't take a ton of effort, but that would actually be a really cool session at the Accent to just invite all of the chefs, all of the buyers at every restaurant, every grocery store. And then have, Nick there and some producers and just doing that face to face and getting deals, selling veggies and meat.
We have another question.
Yeah.
Sure, farming. I don't know. Did anybody speak to that? Yeah, exactly. I'm not familiar with that. My father-in-law or husband might, with the science background. I mean, one example we do worm composting and make worm tea, but I'm mostly not familiar with the differences, and we don't use that as far as I know. I'm not sure if people do. And it could be a great, maybe question for CSU Extension that's really involved in the Valley and in farming, and they're a big part of the Ag Conference also. So if you have, research or studies that you've done, or you can ask them if they're familiar with that, and then maybe, see if you could do a class or talk about it at the Ag Conference to educate people on that very thing. It can be really impactful. There's a lot of farmers and ranchers that are at that event. It's kind of the who's who in Ag world. So if anyone wants to get tied into Ag world, that's the event to do it.
Okay, well, thank you all so much. If this was an exciting conversation for you and you're interested in these kinds of topics and questions we were asking, we are very much looking for community participation in the Food and Agricultural Action Plan that we are going to be working on for the next 2 years. So if you want any information about that, come see me right after this talk. And also, I don't know if these were supposed to get passed out. We are also conducting a photo voice project over the next several years. So please submit your photos. Get one of these flyers from me if you don't have one. We would love to see what food and agriculture looks like to you, because we want this to be a very community-driven and inclusive process. It is not just the people up here who are going to be making the decisions about what the goals are. It is you guys out there. So thank you all for participating. Have a great day.
Thank you, Jay, and the Food Sovereignty Panel. That's great. We are now on time, folks. Well, we've got some sunshine. It's now hitting the stage, so we can warm up here. Thank you so much to the Community Food Sovereignty Panel. This is really important information that we all need to be part of in whatever way we do that. So, of course, all of us are looking at the volunteers, not just Energy Fair. So, our panelist groups, we have coming up in about 15 minutes or so of bringing the soil back to life with David Diamond Riella and me, and how to build a Johnson Smooth bioreactor. It's going to be some information. That's our next speaker, and that'll be 15 minutes or so. We have a lot of other events going on at other stages, as you can hear the drumming for sure. Up here, it's kind of echoing up to us. Right now, there will be a presentation on Cloud Stage starting with Chelsea Alexander with Climate Justice of Colorado. That's going to be going on for right now. At the Wellness Village, we currently have a free up energy by resolving trauma in the body with Amanda Peasky. And then in the demo area, Aircrete with Bruce Kocher. Okay, so if any of you are interested in that, please make your way around and please visit the vendors. We also at the Energy Fair appreciate donations. We want to keep this event free, okay? And we always appreciate support. And you can see this very ancient donation box here at the stage. And this is kind of a tradition for us. So we've kept the old donation box just to show you we still need the support, or we have a brand new one. Wow, Lisa Bodie. Please welcome Lisa. What would you like to say?
We also have a vendor QR code that we'll leave up on the stage.
Oh, we're really getting high tech now, guys. And we're on time. But I still think the old donation box rocks. Yes, it just shows you where we've come from and all the wonderful people that have been putting this Energy Fair on for decades and decades. And we certainly want to give thanks to them. Oh, thank you so much. Trish just gave us a donation. Thank you. Beautiful. Woo-hoo. Okay, so please come back to the main stage for our Johnson Stew bioreactor presentation that will be coming up in about 15 minutes.
Hello. Yeah, no. She said I forgot to mention $5. So. She's maybe sold more than she expects. But she got in this three-dimensional style where everything was like a three-dimensional star. And she became obsessed with it. She was real hard at this like that. So I said, over. I'll cover this. So then, if you want to grab some food or pizza or something, yeah, here it is. I got that water. It is looking cool. That is looking really neat. I think you're chilling. Besides selling your wares. You're welcome, baby. On this side, it's Jessica. How you doing?
Hi.
You mentioned that one.
How you doing, sir?
Just if you. Oh, I understand. My name is Jim.
Drake.
Drake.
Drake. Yep.
Nice hat. I mean, hat and shirt.
Thank you.
Like,
It's a unique, weird. It's my old military hat from when I was in 217 Cav.
really? They
Yeah.
do you like?
Yeah, Army.
No, really?
The cavalry still wears these, but you have to earn them. You have to go through a whole process to earn them.
And the horses. It's already.
No. We don't really use horses no more. I was air cav, so we used helicopters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was flying around in Blackhawks most of the time.
Nice. So it's
Yeah, that's why we joke about it. It's like I'm the mascot for my wife because my wife builds all this, and she handmade every one of these.
I like the color combos. It's pretty color.
Oh yeah, and the cool part is none of them are fake. They're all real gemstones. She used no plastic or red. So she absolutely does this, and she loves it. She never replicates it. She always keeps a new pattern every time for everything. You know?
Yeah.
But
You got 2 fairs.
she is probably total. She's been doing this 3 years, but she really has only done about 5 events thus far. I'm trying to get her to do more. We're over on towards Walsenburg on I-25, so we're trying to get her to like Toledo or Costa Springs. She's done this twice now, 3 times as the energy
Family's really building up now, right?
Yeah.
Starting events.
She wants to do almost a couple times too, but they do other things. That's what she wants to do. She just doesn't want to dilute what she's working so hard to make unique. So she's gonna get out there. But a lot of people wanted her to do like online sales. She's like, I don't want to do online sales. They eat up your cost. Etsy's horrible. They eat up 20% of your revenue right off the bat. Just to put it on her. Yeah. Like, Wait, that's a pretty interesting experience. She was an accountant before she did all this. Yeah. She said just switch over. Well, she didn't like the corporate structure.
Yeah, no? Yeah, it's hard.
The corporate structure threw her off. She got rolled up the bus a couple times from people that were like, you're the account, and I can do that too. She's like, no, I'm not letting you do something illegal. It's been yeah, they'll get somebody else to send her on her way. She loves it. That's understandable. That's what you gotta do. At least they're
Check it out.
Yeah,
That's not.
Okay, Energy Care. We are back at the main stage, and I'd like you to give a warm welcome to Diamond Muriello of the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Diamond and Leah have been homesteading for a decade outside of Pagosa Springs, and he's here to talk about reactivating the soil and bringing it back to life. How to build a Johnson Sioux bioreactor. So please give a warm welcome for Diamond.
Diamond!
Can you hear me now? Oh, that is working.
That's working.
All right, we're here to talk about the most important thing in agriculture, a new breakthrough in scientific inquiry into soil science. It is literally going to change the face of the earth if we continue to spread the message around the world. And this is the invention of the Johnson Sioux bioreactor just about a little over a decade ago in New Mexico, northern New Mexico State, I believe. But it's not just the Johnson Sioux bioreactor that we're going to talk about today. And we're also going to do a raffle, $5 a ticket, and the winner gets the bioreactor to take it home. All the money's going back to the fair. So everyone buy a ticket, because at the end of this talk, I think you're going to want to have one of these in your yard. Now, for those that don't know, for the last century, we've been depleting our soils. Modern agriculture basically repurposes toxic chemicals. We've depleted the soils of its normal fungal content, and we're now left with an agricultural broken system that is bacterial rich, grows food that is less nutrient dense and is covered with pesticides. Now, all this can be repaired by simply revitalizing the soil. Now, if you don't know, healthy soils are teeming with life. And for those that rototill and do things like that, those methods kill this biome. You're simply chopping up the active life in your soil. So if you've never heard of the no-till method or something like the Ruth Stout method, I implore you to go look that up. But a healthy living soil is teeming with bacteria. So much microorganisms that in a single teaspoon, there are more animals than on planet Earth, humans. There's probably 10 billion microorganisms per teaspoon in living soil. And if you go out to a farm, a normal commercial farm, and check their soil, you're going to find that that is depleted by over 95%. Which can't be good for plants because it's this living soil, the way that the earth works. People who study permaculture, we repair the soil because it is the microorganisms in the soil that are doing all the work. They're the ones that provide the nutrients to the plants. They're the one converting carbon. They're the one that is allowing for water to absorb instead of sheet flow. And with a long enough time frame, if you have a living soil that is built over years, the fungi and the mycorrhizal content, you will literally have acreages that can communicate along vast distances. So the soil itself can start moving around nutrients where it's needed. This is what we've lost, and this is what we need to get back to. And so for decades, people have been looking how to do this, and that's where all the different types of composting, compost teas, and Korean natural farming, all those modalities were people attempting to create a living soil.
And my wife makes all these.
The beautiful thing is that this technique here, the Johnson-Su composting method, is a literal breakthrough in agricultural science and soil science. Because what it does through a process of static aerobic composting, most compost
That's what
are
it takes.
anaerobic.
It does.
They stink. They're nasty. You've got to turn them, and they take a long time.
Fun part is like
So people got into
she's so
the
dedicated to
static
work.
piles where they
She
put air into the
decided
pile.
that no
But
matter
still,
what,
in those
she
piles,
prepares
because
for
the air
free,
doesn't go through
and she
them
would rather see the person get
efficiently,
the
they become
jewelry and
anaerobic
get what
and
they
they
like
stink and
than make a profit off of it.
bacterial dominant compost.
Well, I hope she
It's
makes
not necessarily.
I hope she does. Yeah.
If you don't have
It's a
enough
little slow
fungi
today,
in
but
the
it's always the
soil
first
to
couple
keep that
hours.
bacteria,
That's
then
what I was telling her.
be deficient to your plants.
When you go, can
I mean, this is so
Definitely fun.
miraculous.
That's really
That the compost
Yeah,
that comes
I remember when she
here
did that.
is over a
She
1-to-1
took
ratio.
her mother had like a necklace, and she had 5
Doing
years. And it had these backings, brass backing. She's like, "Oh, can you make something out of it?" And she made
just use leaves in
this
here.
by adding something. She added a few other, like she did necklaces. She did a few necklaces, a couple earrings, like everything just matching it.
And so
She loves upcycling things.
This isn't the type of compost that you need thousands of pounds and put 4 inches on.
I hope she is too.
This is a different type of product where a single pound right here can eat an entire hectare. And so you don't use the dirt, you use the water that you wash through the dirt, which rinses off the fungi. And they've even found in the last few years that just spreading it on the surface pales in comparison to injecting it into the ground. So many people are now, with small amounts of this filtered water, injecting it into the furrows, and the results are insane. In a normal agricultural setting, the plants that we are harvesting utilize 3 to 10% of the energy from photosynthesis. But once you inoculate a field with this biologically enhanced agricultural management, this beam, you can achieve a photosynthesis rate of over 53%. And so even in the best, 53%. In the best farming conditions, they're getting 11%. If you were to treat a field for 3 years with this beam, you would be getting 5 times the yield, and you wouldn't have to add any fertilizer. And so just imagine the possibilities. And then you can scale up these reactors, and they don't have to be the type of reactor that I'm going to talk about today. I was talking to someone earlier that I think Johnson came up here last year to the San Luis Valley with an experiment in Hoop House, where they literally made a reactor that was the entire size of the Hoop House. They walled it in with 2 courses of hay bales. They put the 70% carbon material that they were composting in the center, and they just opened up the holes. This was all sitting on platform outlets. Because in order for this compost to work, you need air constantly coming up from the bottom and through it the whole time. That's what keeps it aerobic, and that's what makes the fungi become dominant, because you're not flipping, turning. The mycorrhiza has time to grow, and all the fungi that you need are living in harmony in this product until you, at the very end, when you rinse it off and inoculate the field. You can use this product to inoculate seeds, increasing yields by up to 50%. So there's unlimited uses you can use for this product. Not only that, it has no odor. And even in a cold area like this, people have done experiments, and in just a single season, you can use a Johnson Soup bioreactor to create compost in a freezing environment like this. To fully compost what you put in a bioreactor, they recommend once a year and never for it to freeze. So you'd have to have it in a hoop house here or heated. But if you start early in the spring, this is like normal compost. When you prepare it, the very beginning, you get a thermophilic reaction like normal compost when it was hot. It comes up to 145 to 160. It just stays there for a few days and starts slowly dropping. So if you can heat it up when it's still freezing at night and keep it active, start early, you could probably get 7 or 8 months and make a really good bean product just outside in your yard. So who's willing to try to make one of these? All right, let's do it. So the original way Johnson Soup, it was actually a couple. They're married, Dr. David Johnson. He's a molecular biologist at the University of Mexico, and his wife, Hui Chung Su. They've been here in the valley before. Has anyone ever met them? There we go. Well, these are the people that have this breakthrough in this type of compost. So we're making a new type of compost, which is more like a compost wash, which is an inoculant wash. And they're scaling this out to commercial farms where they're creating industrial equipment, where they're making the bean, they're rinsing it into, equipment that used to spray glyphosate on things. They're now spraying biologically enhanced agricultural management. Yeah, and they're getting.
Fun fact: my wife makes every one of these handmade. She's never bought anything. She's created from scratch, and they're all unique. There's never a replica. She never wants to repeat patterns, so they're truly unique. They're all real. There's no metal. There's no plastics or resins. These are all authentic, semi-precious gemstones.
Literally, we can have the best results in just a few years.
Work,
before we're building soils for, I've been building soils for 8-10 years.
And things like
at our farm.
No, my wife, she's actually out running around, but she's
not only that, the gentleman right in front here, fun guy compost,
yes.
He's got
I'm the sales guy.
If you
I handle everything else.
You don't have much because this pound goes a long way. Not only that,
she's getting more into leather work now.
This beam I'm holding is 4 years old.
She's making a leather
still 70% moisture
bag.
So you can store it indefinitely in a cold, dry place.
Messenger bag.
And if it doesn't freeze, you're going to have the same thing that you need. And so for me to inoculate a quarter inch of my field, I'm just going to need a handful of this.
She loves working with leather.
20, 30 gallons of water, and I'll go out there and I'll spray it. But what they're finding is that injecting it into the ground again is like 10 times.
And that was her first
and that's because it doesn't evaporate.
So
it's alive and they're injecting the light into the earth.
She gets worried. She starts getting.
Now,
I don't know.
The way that Johnson and Sue had built the original bioreactor was a little larger than the one I have here. That was
when anything's
but the key to doing this aerobic compost
that's the gift.
That's the gift of it.
You can do it any way you can think of. to make this
You
device.
see the
You can
imperfections,
use a
and
big
you
bag
know that they
that's
were actually
like,
made by
you know those big
because manufacturing, they
mesh
try to
bags
make
that remove
the
tons of
imperfections.
grain in it?
How
You could use
usually
like a
pretty
container
systematic,
because
or you
air
can
can
tell that
penetrate everywhere.
it's
and
like you
tube
can get
screws.
that same thing from
The
hand.
key is that there
A
is
weird
air
treacle or
flowing
something's out of
within
place.
12
Yeah.
inches of the compost at all places. So you can see how there's 3 holes here.
Yep. They made a big
In
joke
the
out of it
bottom pallet,
in the movie Fight Club.
it never is
He's
further
like,
away than
you see
12
the
inches
blown
from the
bubbles,
compost.
pretending
any
to be
hole
the
where air is
handcrafted
coming
and some
through.
guy in China, but
And
it's
that'll become
it's all
clearer when
fake.
we
And
show
they made
you
a big
how to
joke
build
about
this.
it.
So first,
So.
you're gonna
But
find a
she's been
pallet.
doing this for
You're gonna
3
lie it on the
years.
ground, and you're gonna get some
This is
weed
her passion
fabric.
now.
Yeah,
She went from being an
you're gonna get some weed fabric or some
this.
erosion
Yeah.
control and
Yeah,
staple it onto the
she
pallet.
didn't like that life.
Now you want to have the pallet
It's always-
completely
She got rolled
framed out. You don't want to have a pallet that
Like,
has
you don't sign off,
missing
we're just gonna
slats.
fire you.
So get
She's
some
like,
more
"No, I'm not
pallet wood and
signing
make
off."
it solid. And this is
Yeah, she
because
puts her a lot
they
of heart
find
and
that
soul into
water
it.
can pool in those areas and become anaerobic and spoil the wood.
She does. She does. She does beautiful work.
And
She
next
loves
you're going to need some
upcycling,
tubes to
cycling
bring the
things.
air in with tons of
Taking
holes.
different cycles.
You know, those fit
Giving
right
them
into
something
these
you
holes
like.
that you're going to drill
Yeah.
at regularly spaced intervals to make sure that everything is getting air within 1 foot. And
Thank
basically,
you. Have a good one.
this size pallet can hold a bioreactor that only requires 3 tubes. If you get a full-size pallet, you need 5 tubes. If you make a 4 pallet bioreactor, you're going to need 25 tubes. So as long as the air comes in every foot, you're golden. The next thing is you're going to need some wire mesh or some heavy fencing, anything that can hold more erosion control fabric in place. And if you could just put that over top of that. And this is going to hold your compost material that you're going to use to make the beam. Now, the key to making a bioreactor is to have your initial tubes higher than the edge of your bioreactor or covered so you don't get your schmutz in there when you're filling. So these are taped shut so you can't get anything into them. So now you're going to fill it. Now, based on the research, you can fill this with anything you want. But if you're looking for fungal dominance, which is going to fix your dead soil, you're going to want to do it only one way. That's all carbon.
How you doing?
The more nitrogen you put in,
Probably.
the bacteria you're going to introduce.
They look like just like
And you
that.
never want to put anything green into a Johnson soup bioreactor. Everything has to be completely dry.
Right. I mean, my wife would
before
love to
you
do
saturate.
She stepped away, but yeah,
So,
she's still back at it.
if you want the most fungally
Pumping them out.
dominant
Now she
bean,
actually
I
got a lot
recommend you
more
just stick with this. It's the easiest to make. You just use leaves
I'm glad to hear though she likes
because
it.
it's
They like it.
100% carbon,
Yeah.
completely dry
Really
leaves,
nice.
and they're easy to shred.
Yeah, she got
The more shredded your
got,
product, the faster
now
the
she's working
reaction
with 24
occurs and the
karat
quicker you
gold
get the bean.
and silver.
The
She's
bigger
gonna
chunks, the
next
less
cycle. She's
aerobic
gonna
composting
put
is
up
going to
24
occur.
karat gold
So
and sterling
the
silver.
better your shredder, the
But,
better your initial
if you
product, the
Take
better
another
your
cover,
result.
man. What we're
Now,
doing
this
now
stuff
is we
sells
started
for
trading
$50 a
their
pound.
business. So if you come in
So
like another
if
year,
you're looking to have a small
already
business,
10% off of all of it.
this stuff sells out immediately because no one's doing it. And you can make 100 pounds per bioreactor. That's $5,000, and you don't do anything but wait a year and open it up.
Absolutely, she would love to hear it. She
So
needs
it's
to
almost
hear
as good
that.
as weed.
She needs to hear that her work is good.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
Thank
what
you,
we're
brother.
doing.
Dig it.
So if you want the most fungally dominant, you're going to use leaves. And if you want to guarantee you're not going to screw up, get some really high-end, already organic compost with hundreds of mycorrhizae in it. And you're going to sprinkle this in as you fill it, just a little bit, so that you know everything you have in there is in there. Like Happy Frog makes a mycorrhizal inoculant frog. It's awesome. Just get some stuff going in there. But the leaves themselves are going to already have the fungi you need locally. And so the key to filling this is to have a good shredded start, and you need 70% moisture. The way you can achieve this is simple. You can have a tilted over wheelbarrow, and you can have a cement mixing basin that you fill the dry leaves in. It's filled with water, and you soak it there for a few minutes until they've soaked the water up. Then you pick it up and throw it into the tilted wheelbarrow and let it drain for just a minute or two. Let it drain till it's not wet. And as you're filling this with your 5-gallon buckets, typically they use, you don't want to really pack it. You want to let the weight do the work. The more it's packed, the more opportunity for that anaerobic thing that we don't want. We want to keep the air flowing. And then you could fill it to the top. And then all you have to do is make sure you maintain moisture. And the way you do that is you cover it. So we got a cover here that comes with the reactor. And you can put a drip irrigation on a timer and just, turn it on 15 minutes every 12 minutes. Or if you're a diligent rancher like I am, you just water it by hand because that's what I do. So it's up to you. And then you just wait. And then you open it up and you got the bean. And it's beautiful. Now, some people are using the shells of IBCs and having really good results because they're super rigid. You know what I'm talking about? They're aluminum shells and the IBCs are the plastic water jugs inside. So you can use that aluminum shell. One ranch has scaled it up to hundreds of these bioreactors. Because once you find out what this will do for you, this is the only thing you're ever going to do. And every farmer that gets a taste of the beam scales it up. I mean, fungi compost, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? I'm not lying, right? Yeah. So the next part here, I'll just answer any questions about building your own bioreactor. This one, on their website, they say take 5 to 6 hours. This took us 2 hours because we knew what we're doing. So it's not hard to do. A lot of people have this material lying around that are already permaculturalists or ranchers or farmers. You don't have to use drain tile. I drilled all the holes in here. I recommend you put more holes in. One thing I didn't say is that after you fill this, let me tell you how the reaction works. So it's filled, it's moist, you cover it. You leave the pipes in for at least 24 hours. But I recommend you leave them in for at least 72 hours. And don't take them out until you check with your compost thermometer that the thermophilic reaction has started. Because if that started, the fungi and the mycorrhiza are already holding hands. And they're going to keep that leaf litter together. So when you pull the tubes, it's not going to collapse in on itself. So all you need is a compost thermometer. Make sure even if it's gotten to 90 or 95, you can pull the tubes. You can leave them as long as a week if you want, if you're scared you can. Because filling the bioreactor takes the most time. If you just spend 4 hours filling that up, then everything collapses. That's bad. So I'd be happy to answer any questions. We're going to be giving away the entire bioreactor, the cover, the tubes, the whole thing, a thermometer so you can get started right away. And all the money goes back to the Energy Fair. So make sure to show up to our booth. We also have free cannabis. You sign up. Or even if you don't.
How you doing?
So any questions?
There you
I would recommend you sit Humanor for at least a year or two before you try it. No, but a lot of people are. So we do chicken farms. I'm going to probably do some bioreactors that utilize our chicken litter, which is mostly pine chips and the poop. And I think it'll be real hot and bacterial dominant. We'll also do pure leaf litter. So I have a blend of composts. I've never heard of Humanor, but I really haven't done any research.
We have another question from Karen. It's about the website.
To find the Johnson Soup bioreactor, there's a PDF online. I think it's regenerativeinternational.org. But all you have to do is write Johnson Soup bioreactor PDF and you'll get to that website. It's step by step how to build exactly what I showed you here, just a bigger version. The bigger version is you need a ladder to fill. And if you don't need that much compost, if you don't have 5 acres or you're not going to sell if you don't need $20,000 worth of bean, you don't need a big bioreactor. But if you want to be a millionaire, hell, build 50 and I'll be your partner. Anybody else? Cool. So if you need some beam, fungi compost is beam, check out our booth for the bioreactor. You have a question? Okay. It's well.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, guys. Okay, thank you, Diamond Mariello. And if you guys want to come on up and look at the bioreactor and do the raffle, awesome. Thank you so much.
We found her. She was over there with
Jenny said,
Look very.
what's going to think I'm going to choose?
I like this color.
After a year, don't we have to wait a year?
You were talking about dressing so bright. I'll try it.
It's like you're seeing you. Sometimes you actually see like, what time you go? What's that? Yeah. Hey, catch it. It's like, whoa. And the words for how I am. Whatever happens. Thank you. Jayla, what word? He has a girlfriend. She's going to court.
I posted there.
To recycle the water? Yeah.
So I'm doing it tomorrow.
How you doing today, sir?
Good.
Good.
You too, Michael.
You'll be waste to it. Then you'll have a product that here you have too much. Then you'll be competing with fungi compost. Then the price will come down. Right? I'm looking at I want bean to be affordable for everyone, $20 a pound. It's worth 50 because no one's doing it. But if we have millions of pounds of this moving around, it's going to become more affordable. Like they can't give cannabis away and those growing. In demand, baby. That dead orchard when you come into Crestone, there is, if you go on the original bean website, it came out with there's the one that started selling this. I knew the guys, they were making it in the end. It was only $29 a pound. But they went to a dead orchard. Trees were coming. One branch, 3 leaves. It's spring coming out there. The orchard year, and every tree 100% growth. And the second year they had fruit. It was unheard of. And what this also does, because of the fungal dominance and the right bacteria to fungi ratio, all the diseases that are in your soil go away every time. So there's no need for anymore. There's no need for pesticides if you have biodiversity. Certainly no need for fertilizers. Because especially the clay soils we have, the problem is unlocking the nutrients to the plants. There's no fungi. But once the fungi are there, this clay, crap, or pure sand soil becomes very beneficial because they can take the nutrients right out of the stones. So it is the future, and it's so simple and passive. Like everybody will be doing it.
Just inject it into the soil.
They have agricultural equipment that injects fertilizers into the ground, so they're using that. But if you're at your home, make yourself find a giant turkey breast. You know, what do you put in where? Just 70% wet shredded leaves. That's the best. But you can put anything as long as it's dry, shredded to start. No, you soak it to load. We'll soak the dry shredded for a few minutes. The best way to definitely, well, you should have fungi on all the leaves you collect off the plants. The fungi on the bottom where you're there. But if you have really good inoculated soil, which you can buy is expensive, you should add that in very small quantities to add fungi. No, the end product is bean. Yeah, so you're ready to run. No. Nope. That's what you use bean for, inoculate. The final product of this is not normal compost that you throw in the dirt. You rinse water through it and use the water. You buy a bag of Happy Frog from a weed store. Yeah, and you just sprinkle it in. You want to buy the bag with the most mycorrhizae on it. You can get a product that has a single thing. It's called Happy Frog Soil Condition when it comes in a blend. All you would need is 1 cup of that. And everyone can share it. One brick of Happy Frogs can do 1,000 bioreactors.
Little background. My wife made every one of these handmade.
Much like the bean, and you have the knock-ins ones.
They're all original, and she doesn't use any plastics. They're all true gemstone and semi-gem. Questions?
All right, we're going to move this down to the booth.
Never
There's raffle tickets down there, so everyone go down. The raffle tickets support the Energy Fair and Wing of Bio.
Yeah, could you give some more information about the raffle? Just
everything is made.
If you leave here and go straight out to the street, the last booth on the left is Oppenheimer Ranch, right next to Leak Project, and we have Alien Allen over there with raffle tickets. Put your name, put the phone number, and your address if you're not going to be here. We're just going to, I figure we'll just raffle this today because no one's going to know about it tomorrow. So we'll pull the ticket as soon as everyone gets their ticket in. Yes. And there are 100 videos on YouTube on how to make all different versions of this. Some of them not so good. So do your homework. Don't just watch one, watch 40. At the end product, you'll see lots of white hairs fibering through. Let's just like if you're in the forest and you live up the leaf litter. Yeah. But the end product you want will be looking like this. And then when you squeeze it, no water will come out. It's weird.
okay. Thank you, Diamond, for the information on this. And where is your booth again? Okay, right down by the park on the entrance. Okay, so if anyone's here wants to stop by and do your raffle for this wonderful Johnson Solar bioreactor, that's great. Anyone online, there is information available online about bioreactors of this type, including the Johnson Sioux. And we just want to thank Diamond for the talk and all the great information. I'm glad to see that there's a lot of hype, good hype about fungi and the importance in the environment. And that's a beautiful thing is things go in waves like that, right? Where all of a sudden we're talking about medicinal fungi and then we're talking about soil fungi and it's finally getting the attention it deserves from people that probably weren't aware of it. So all of this is great information. We're doing pretty good on time, folks, on the main stage here. We've got a little bit more time till our next event, but I do want to give you some more information. Our next presentation around 2:30, so we've got a little bit of time, is our builders panel. This is a pretty well-loved panel, meaning that we've had it in the energy fair for a long time, and we would love for you to join us for that. They're going to be talking about how Saguache County conjointly, many people in the valley here said no to building codes. And they're going to talk a little bit about what's up next with the process. Okay? So please join our discussion up here at the main stage with our builders panel to hear what happened,
Wife made all these handmade.
what we need to achieve
Yep, she did.
Did she make those?
Yeah. Oh no, she got that actually from a necklace her
and
mother
our
gave her.
host of
She
that
never
will be
wore, so she
Finnegas,
upcycled it and
who's
designed it to do that. And then she did some earrings over there in the back. If you spin it around, you can see them.
So please join
And
us for
she
that.
added
After
precious
the
stones and
builders
jewelry
panel, and I will prep this
and
again.
everything's real.
But
There's
at
no
4
plastic or
p.m.
resin.
at the end of that
So they're
panel,
all precious
the art
stones.
install.
Is this our
Please visit our
Yes.
art install folks
Yep,
over
everything's
there in
real.
our community. They're going to have a community fire that will honor reimagining homes and comments.
That is actually a copper seed. Yeah, copper
they will
seed.
be having some
She does
tea
actually
and
do,
some
but she has
communal
24 karat beads.
so please know about that. And then we have another talk at 5:30, rehydrating the landscape
How
with
they are.
MMA.
She got
And then
them
we'll
free
turn into music.
from a lady who did.
So we will become a
Yep,
music.
she
stage
just made this actually. She was working
So
on this
please
before
stick
she left.
around and
So
we look
there's
forward to
24
seeing you.
karat?
These are, yep, 24 karat gold. I think she said one of them though. She doesn't believe. She's not sure until she tests and runs a chemical test on it to see if it actually is truly or if it's plated gold. But she would, if it's plated, she won't use it. She wants to use real. She wants to smelt it and forge it and make it herself. So yeah. She also does custom work. She makes different custom jewelry and things like that. So on our website. Yeah, that one actually, she didn't make this one particular. This came from a lady who did 60 years of beading who had passed away, and her daughter gave it to my wife as, hey, can you sell it or can you appreciate it? So she put it out there. We call it Miss Frenchie's, because that was the name of the lady. Miss Frenchie's, a collection. There's a couple others she did like that. Yep.
This time of year too, it's colder this one.
Yep, for the little fairy bottles. And then she'll do a chain or a leather piece. She has all these different types of chains. And then she actually has leather as well. And when she found this bag, she might even maybe do a deal on it. I believe it's plated gold, but I'm not sure. I'd have to ask when she gets back from the acupuncturist. It's not even that way. Maybe stop back here, she'd be able to answer. That's fine. It's copper. Yeah. Real gold, if you find real gold, it's very soft. That's why you see all the people that break. It actually bends because gold is very fragile. I've had gold bars and they're really heavy on it, but you can actually push in and harden on it and prints. Because gold is very the softest metal on the entire earth. So it's very conductive. That's what we use. It's supposed to amplify energy.
As soon as the sun comes up,
Very unique, very fun. She's taught me. And I'm a computer guy, so I like computers, and that's all I do. Yeah, stop back through. She'll be sitting. You'll see her sitting here, and she's usually working on something. She, like I said, she was working on trying to inlay beads into leather where you can't see the seams. She wants to make it perfect. So if you have
Fire
a-
going.
That was not back. Yeah.
Since I came, like,
Doing well. How are you? Thank you. Background: my wife makes every one of these things, and she never replicates it. It's all one and done, and that's it. And everything is true. It's not plastic or resin, and true gemstones or semi. I mean, these are different chains. She like if you buy Bendit or something. These are all the different chains she actually has to use. And a lot of what she does is that she has to make it a lot easier to put on as well. Yeah. She did all my like she does the lava rocks and stuff.
Very cool. Okay.
And like she does all the male ones over there, and some of them are amazing, amazing works. The cool thing is with the lava rocks, you can actually put incense or oil in it.
Really?
Yeah,
And
you
it
put
soaks it up out of it?
It soaks it and then releases it slowly throughout the day. So a lot of people will like put lavender in to calm you down or relax you. So
God knows I need that most of the time.
yeah, that's the way I'm at. I'm like, too much technology.
Wow. Tell me about
Some of those pieces she can actually like resize to make them fit. Well, she definitely puts her heart and souls into it. Yeah.
it's like they
find something for my wife to make her happy that I came to a building.
Oh, that's something, you know? That's insane. Yeesh. If you have an idea what she likes, like stone wise.
She likes amethyst a lot.
Like this one here is pure amethyst. That's purple.
So cool.
Then you have these ones, and the only reason is pure amethyst. Not much, but yeah, she likes amethyst, or like she took a while to make that one. That was her one.
so
She
cool.
had
That
to
is
manually
amazing.
drill very lightly without cracking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she spent a good. I remember she spent a few hours on that.
Yeah.
How you doing today?
good. You?
Good. Look around, see if you like anything.
Yeah, we're just making the rounds.
Understandable.
Jumps out.
My wife makes every one of these handmade, and they're all natural. There's no plastic or resins. These are pure, semi-precious and precious stones. Yeah, she's very. That I was just telling him. She had to manually drill that with a tiny, tiny drill, slowly without cracking it, and she managed. She was very impressed. She loves upcycling things. She's getting more into leatherworking now. You know,
That's kind of trendy right now.
it is.
Awesome. Yeah.
That's what I told her. You know, she did like my wallet here a couple of years ago for my birthday. And as her first one she ever did, she did Pickle Rick from Rick and Morty. Like interlaid them and you know, that's the thing. She loves to upcycle things.
Like it's trendy, but that's the old way.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
The best.
Oh yeah. Well, I've told her leather. I mean, it'll last forever if it's done right. Sealed right, you never have to replace it. You know?
Yeah. How many wallets did you go? Where you got another one?
Finally bought a handmade leather one, and now it's been like
5 years.
5 or 6 years. It's like new stuff.
See, yeah, like this
The
one.
other one's 2 years of starting out.
And that's the thing is when you use general leather, not real leather, it's just scrap leather. They pretty much melt together and it falls apart. Sad to see. You know, that's this tis life. You know.
We appreciate people in their hands doing.
Oh, that's what she said. She wasn't counting fiction at all. You know, she just couldn't stand public fiction at all.
Can't blame her.
Any of that crap, keep it all.
Keep it on. We go back to I prefer
Amen.
barter and trading and back to the small business.
Yep.
Small business is the backbone of everything.
Yep.
Without people, they ain't doing it. You know. So
Them big manufacturers, it's not good for anybody. The jobs aren't good for the team. Products suck.
now we're still living in a semi. They call us it's the new was it digital age and stuff, but we've been living pretty much under the old industrial age since the 1900s.
Yeah.
It never changed. You know, and then the idea
They're
of
all slaves.
now they're trying to adjust schools again because the way schools that we grew up in, that was Henry Ford's design to get you to be in a factory.
Right.
Now they're like, well, what do we do now? Oh, well, now we got to get them to do some cause that we want them to do. I did talk to my daughter for a good, I think, hour and a half about how she was saying like, oh, people that do things by themselves, you know, that's not good. You know, you gotta be able to, you know, work with the community, work with corporations to get. And I'm like, yes, programming here, homeschool. Well, and I told her I was like, that is what we had called programming. And she's like, what do you mean? Like, think about what you're saying. Look around. Would you want your friends? Would you want you to be stuck in a factory for the next 30 years of life with nothing more? She's just like, no, I don't want that. Then why are you preaching what they're telling you to preach? It's like, that's a valid point.
As you're waking
That from
up.
a B movie, you know, and they're like, that's they painted their picture.
Be
Yeah.
free.
Yeah. I told her, the Japanese culture has 3 different careers. So your first one is your education, 4 your second career, third one's your career, what you want to do truly, and then you do that for us. But it allows you to adjust and change and prepare for those things.
You can't jump into your dream at 18. You don't have the skill set yet.
Well, you don't have the skill set. You may not understand the whole market, the type of
Don't
thing.
really know.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I'm gonna go make YouTube stuff. That's great. When YouTube's gone, what are you gonna do? I don't know. Go film something else, I guess. No, honey.
I think that's gonna phase out too.
It is.
It's few years. It's just crazy. People are recording. We're like, what's going on?
Like, live your life. Don't go.
Yeah, I told him, like, I'm a big scuba diver, so I was a master diver for a while. And my entire time as a scuba assistant swimmer was behind a camera. I couldn't tell you one of my dives because it was always like this. Had to film everybody. I can maybe remember 10 minutes of any kind of dive because of the time I was dropping before I
You were
started.
diving, you were filming.
I was filming. I wasn't doing anything but staring at a camera. Like I missed, I think one like Makos were like they were frenzying like to the left of me, and everyone's like, "There's sharks." I'm like, "Where?" Oh,
That's right.
I don't want to get eaten.
Not filming that.
I'm not filming these. You know, but yeah, definitely it's dying.
That's an arrowhead.
Yes,
Very nice.
that one I believe.
A real?
Yeah, everything's real. I believe that one's actually from New Mexico,
Very nice.
if I remember right. Yeah, everything is real.
Yeah. I didn't see that. That's standing right there.
Oh yeah, that's what she loves about it. Is that the longer you stay in, to start seeing the different individual pieces that stand out.
Yeah, you see it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like that one too.
yeah, that was like an experiment of hers. She really enjoyed doing the leather work. You know.
Does she sell online?
No,
No.
but please take a card anyways because she does custom works as well.
Okay.
And she's always posting pictures of her new product that will be at the next vendor, but she will take a custom order, but she won't sell.
Called her and paid her over the phone.
No, we do the email and stuff, and we do other things and ways of contacting her, so it's much easier for her. And she's not tech savvy. I'm the tech guy.
I'm not either.
I'm the tech guy, you know? So, but yeah, definitely.
We're preaching old school. We're going back old school. I don't want it.
I've learned, I talk to the kids, I'm like, we're going to eventually go back to where technology is not so much in your life. It's too invasive, and they've ruined things. They're talking about AI, and I'm in that field right now as I'm doing cybersecurity and understanding that. It's too evasive. They're trying to take it. It's corporations that never stop. They just keep pushing. You get one thing, shove it down everybody, and just keep going until everybody's tired of it. Recycle and do the same thing over again.
And they're so intrusive into our privacy because they want to know where our next purchase is going to be. They want to anticipate
It's
that
all
big money.
Yep, it's all demographics. It's all data. And they're buying it. I've seen what they do with the data. They literally just sell it as a packet and say, oh, well, we've got 10,000 bits. It's worth this. and they just send it, and they send millions of dollars, but they don't look at it. They don't care about it. It's literally swapping people. So they ask, well, how did con people get it? You just sold them $10,000 worth of stuff. They know names, phone numbers, how.
So
And it comes from it comes from Amazon, Facebook, all those guys. They have data portfolios. Google. Google's in trouble. We're going to see how that turns out. They're getting slammed right now. Antitrust.
to go down.
They do.
Otherwise, we're gonna look like the digital space stuff.
I mean, really,
Social currency or social.
the Fed's already working on that.
Yeah,
The
we
Fed's working
gotta
on
shut
that.
down.
It's going to. I mean,
We gotta all say. It's too
And-
many sheep. But we just say that. Hold us over, bartering, get out of our lives.
it works to a certain extent. I've always said that, and it's just there's a level you get to before it gets too much. But then you have to organize and keep. If you're above, say, a Fortune 500 company, you have to remember that you are dealing with people, not numbers, not digits. Please look at them as people. And a lot of these guys simply don't. They're just like, why would I? I mean, they're our customers. You don't even use the word customers anymore. I've seen data sets where they call them units. Oh, we sold to 50 units today. And it's like, no, you didn't sell of 50 units. You sold to 50 units. They don't even approach people as people anymore. We've stepped too far away when the income gap got too big. That's what it is. Yep. It's a the way my wife described it is it would be more of a wand or more of a sensing of energy going around and purifying around him.
It purifies?
Yep.
Turn it the right way. I hope.
Putting a real sage on it.
Oh,
She
yeah.
sages purifies everything. You know? Sweet, please. And if you guys come to the next energy fair or wherever you see us at and see the new card, we take 10% off. We started a card collection, like it's their business card. That's why we had it. So every time we see a new one, if it's from a previous year, we automatically take 10% off. And whatever it is, we have 2 of them. That's 20% off. So you have to collect them. So it's something fun. She knows I like collecting cards with the kids, so she got the idea.
That's cool.
You know,
Let's engage your customer a little bit.
it does.
Think about coming to you.
Yeah,
Like, well, bring those because we might see those guys.
yeah.
Sometime.
We had a couple stop by with the bookmarks. They bought at Winterfest 2 years ago, and they were like, "Oh, they were so amazing." Cigarettes love them, but she decided to do double, so that you can place where you were and where you would stop at instead of keep going. And she upcycled some ribbons she had.
Perfect.
She's the creative one. I'm not.
Well, we'll keep walking. Thanks for the time.
Absolutely. Thanks for talking to you. Have a good day.
Totally, like how much water we get, we use, exit, you know.
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
So depending on where you do it too.
I know you haven't left yet.
It's like if you can be with the witnesses and allow it just to like run its course,
It's healing in its own way.
So she something.
I know.
Good.
Money right there.
How's it going?
How's it going, sir?
How are you?
Tired, long, but an exciting day. You know what I'm saying? It's always a good day. I'm standing upright, anyways.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Always be more challenging.
Yeah, I always look for a good challenge. Why not, right?
Lets us know we're alive.
Yeah. Yeah, the old joke goes. A little bit about this. This is all my wife's work. She actually hand designs everything, and she only makes original one-offs. She never replicates. And it's all real, no plastics, no resins. Everything's made out of semi-precious or precious stones.
It's always appreciated.
Oh yeah,
I love your business card here.
yeah. She absolutely loved the design and everything, and that quartz.
I cut stone myself. I'm a stone worker.
Oh yeah,
And I make business card holders out of them too.
that's cool. Yeah, she found that. I'm working with a little bit of stone right now from our land I pulled out of the ground. I'm making a sink.
Oh, cool, dude! I make sinks too.
Yeah.
What kind of stone is it?
It's sandstone. I'm looking.
Oh, cool,
We're gonna
easy.
we're gonna pull some. We have some iron rock, some iron ore. It's
Yeah,
attached to some it was definitely either sandstone or something else. And I pulled that out of the ground and I tried to cut that thing. I was like, I'm not cutting through this at all.
what are you using?
I was
blades?
using diamond blades with a grinder,
Yeah, for
but I'm
sure.
gonna get a demo saw this winter so that I can actually cut through it.
Why is this going so slow for you?
Yeah, yeah. Like the sink I'm working on right now is probably about about from here to the edge of the table.
Yeah.
And I started initially with trying to I tried to chip. That was fun. I tried to old school, try to chip it away.
So we went from starting a little
Oh,
to
but then I took a grinder and I started cutting patterns.
Yeah.
And
so
then I
on
took
the main stage, what we have coming up
it's
is
a
builder's
hammer
hammer
drill.
230.
sure.
So
And then
we're
just
doing a
drilled
little
it out like,
countdown on that.
patterns.
Sure.
And then
And
we
again,
recycled
it's a
all the pieces
continuing
because they were
discussion
squares and the different
about
things.
the
But
no vote on the
I want to
building
get a demo
codes
saw because
in
I'm
this
going to cut
county,
because I got
and
a tub
also
I want
what to do to keep our
I'm
rights
pulling a
as natural
2-ton
builders
stone out of the
and
ground.
encourage
Sure.
And I want to pull that out and make a Japanese bath
Eric,
tub out of
the
it.
off-grid
What's that? And I need a
will
demo
be
saw
our
to
moderator.
just cut through it, break
And
it through, flip it over,
another
and then cut
update,
it, piece it back together.
just what's going on
Sure.
in our
You
other
know,
stages
I
right now.
think of doing a tub too. I've always
Yeah,
thought it was
chances are
doable.
good.
It's
We're
doable,
playing
but
with the cloud
man, it takes a long time to
stage.
make
It's just how
right by
committed
Cloud
you
Station.
are. I mean, anything good
We
takes a
also
while. You know?
have
Oh yeah.
right now light anchors on the Sacred
Yeah,
Heart,
that's cool. I've worked with demo
which
saws.
is Rescue
The right tool goes a long
Sage
way.
Studios.
Yeah.
Like that hammer drill
And
that you're
then
talking
for
about.
Yeah.
I mean,
we are
it's like right now I'm just using like a
finishing Air
grinder
Creek
with
and moving
diamond
on to
blades.
Yeah.
And then hammer and chisel,
So
just
if you
do
feel like you'd
lines,
like to work
hammer
on
and
that
chisel,
with
and you know.
Yeah. See, I was doing that too.
Please go
And
over
then
to
with the
the demo
sandstone,
area.
unfortunately,
We'll be
it tends to
starting
crack
in
because
about
it's
2
so soft.
Well, you got to
I
know
will be
it's,
back in
and that's
just
where there's a learning curve with what angle you're hitting it at.
Gotcha.
I mean, like, so if you're at the edge of it, the edge of your sink, you don't want to hit that way. You always want to hit into where there's more mass.
That would make sense. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I was just hitting away, not thinking about it.
Yeah,
and it would make sense that if I hit towards the core of it, it was less likely to crack.
Yeah, and what angle you're doing it at too.
Okay.
And like how wide are your lines that you're doing it? You know what I mean? Like the thicker, you're gonna have to hit harder. But then the thinner, you don't want to have to do a million lines.
Right.
I mean, but if you're getting a demo saw, you still gotta do lines, you know.
Yeah, just with the demo saw, I'll be able to cut with the hand grinder. I got a 7-inch grinder.
Yeah, so you
I
got
can
a
only
couple inches.
I can
For
only
sure.
get a couple. With the demo, I can
For
almost
sure.
cut straight through, and then cut it with plenty of lines because it'll take me less time,
Yeah.
and then just cut right through.
It's got water coming out.
Yeah, some of the demo saws are water fed.
Get one with water fed if you can.
Okay.
It'll extend your blade life like
Okay, yeah.
a lot.
That's what I was doing with the grinder. I'd pour some water in there, get it kind of grounded up, and then drill through it. And I noticed that the diamond was less dissolving or breaking down the blade a little bit less, you know?
Yeah, water's better for sure. It's awesome, dude. Keep at it.
Yeah, man, keep it. It sounds like you got a lot of years on it. Huh? You've been doing this for a while, or
a little bit. This was my first year that I did a show, the Buena Vista show.
Okay,
it was so fun, bro.
That was one place that my wife was talking about going.
You should.
House is another one she wants to do.
You gotta go. It was so fun.
I told her to do it. She's been sticking with this, but next season she wants to do at least 5 to 6 shows.
She should just build up her inventory. The uniqueness of her stuff is what's going to sell.
Yeah.
Up there was 120 vendors.
Wow.
So you got to have something unique.
Right.
And that's where like the conglomerates up here, I make bowls and sinks out of them. I'll make bowls like that thin.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah, the conglomerates, and people just... But, I mean, to get them that thin, it's such a learning curve on how to not break them. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's... But the more unique you can have stuff, the better she'll do up there.
Well, that's why she loves it, because everything is unique. Everything is one-off.
Totally.
She never replaces it. And a lot of it is upcycling from things she found. Like a couple of necklaces she finds, she'd break down. As long as they were pure, she'd use them.
For sure. Well, I love that you, like, led with that, too. Like, letting the person coming up, let them know, like... I mean, just how you did with me. It's a good... You got it going on.
Yeah, that's what I tell her I'm just your dancing monkey. That's all. I'm the dancing monkey that do the dance, and we'll do this all the way through. You know.
That's good. Like, it's good having people lean on each other's backs. You know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've tried to promote her doing this. She used to be an accountant, and she hated the corporate accounting area. They tried to roll her under the bus a few times. You know. But her insistence is do everything pure with intent and do everything as needed, you know, and have true pieces that are truly unique, as my wife is.
So hey, we'll keep at it. I was just telling your partner, you should definitely do the Buena Vista show. It's so fun. I just did it this year. So much fun. Like you'll be able to find, you'll be able to find pieces for your work too there, like super unique pieces. You'll be able, like, especially your stuff that's really unique. That's what sells there. Because there's like 120 vendors there. So the more unique your stuff is, the better you'll be there. And what he was telling me, these are all like one of a kind. They're never replicated. I mean, that's like,
That's one of the things. Yeah.
yeah, that'll go a long way being there.
Okay. Buena Vista?
Yeah, it's the Cottontail Gem and Mineral Show. Yeah, it is. It was so much fun. Like
You said the cotton mill?
Cottontail.
Cotton.
Yeah. If you just Google, yeah, Buena Vista Gem and Mineral Show, it'll come up. It's in August, like 15th or 13th through 15th, about. But
I'll check that. Usually, the energy fair, Crestone Energy Fair here, which they was doing it the last weekend of August.
yeah, right.
So it was just like this was my August event, and I'm gonna push it back to September. So like my whole schedule's up and
Yeah,
figure out plotting out my year.
for sure,
So
for sure.
I'll definitely check them out.
So much fun. It was like, man, it's such a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like a music festival as
No,
well?
it's just
Or just a gem and mineral show?
just gem and mineral. Yeah, so it's like 4 rows of like just vendors, and it was so much. Like I cut stone. I was talking to your partner. He cuts stone, and that's what I do. I make bowls and sinks,
Okay.
and
Okay.
just so much.
So much fun, yeah. I mean, I'm more into the rocks and minerals than he is, but I think he's starting to get into it now that we're stuff to play with.
Cool.
He's trying to cut it up and see what he can do.
For sure.
So,
Sky's the limit. Your imagination is the limit, you know?
yes. I mean, we've got a lot of coal and sandstone, so there's a lot of other stuff like and feldspar materials that I'm sure down in the area that just got looked over and swept away because all they wanted was coal.
Yeah.
That's going home.
For sure.
And here's the cross.
Well, you never know like that. They were just looking for coal, so everything else was
just passed on by. Yeah.
totally.
So it's up in Korea. So slate embedded in sandstone and other types of shale type of rocks.
Yeah, for sure.
But with as much they got some probably some granite stones in there too. Just
What's y'all in Blanca or?
no, we're out on the other side, outside of Wallsburg.
Yeah, for sure.
20 minutes south of Wallsburg.
Oh, cool. All right.
I think it was the old Blue Glow Mines
Yeah,
area.
the area down Rugby, the
Yeah.
old coal mines.
Cool. It's awesome. Y'all like have your spa and your building and
Yeah, we're trying to make I want to build a whole community network.
yeah.
Southern Colorado, northern New Mexico borders. Like the Mason-Dixon, across the country, just that strip. Because that's what everybody wants to be, that's where it needs to be, because, global climate change and stuff. Get off the coast while you can. So,
Well, this whole area draws like a certain type of individual, I feel like.
the mountains have always called to people.
That's so true.
It's like if you find yourself like in the mountains, you're supposed to be there.
So true.
See what's something.
And that's what brought me here is the mountains. That's what kept me here is the mountains. I relate to that.
Yeah. There's that.
Happy day for y'all.
Thank you. Enjoy your time.
There's a lot to soak in.
Oh yeah,
Happy talking.
Keep busy.
You too. Thank you. It was 15 minutes on that, and I stopped by Rex for like 5. So it should be done. It's under my name. Told her to come pick it up. It's just a couple of minutes. I did.
I tried to text you, but your phone's like,
I know.
I'm just pumping out whatever energy.
But yeah.
But we're pretty good.
Shoulder feels
We're solid. Yeah.
and I had to get my foot changed on my foot. Sore leg. Okay, so I talked to Jules about the Dr. Crow's assistant. Type of thing. And so what he said. So if we can get any sponsors, what end up happening is that whoever's giving us the donation would write the donation out to their organization, and then what they would do is most of the time, businesses who do that, nonprofits who do that, they'll take 10% off of the contribution on top. They don't. What they do withhold slight fee the grant process. So you have to write the grant, send it to them, they'll review it, make any corrections, and sign off on it. For that portion, and then for the contribution, they'll take the money in, cash it, take their little the processing fee off of it, and then write the message.
Is coming up next.
So that's so I told him I did want to maybe, sit down.
Welcome back to the main stage. We are live and streaming. Those in the middle know we're in our video. Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I'd like to introduce Eric from the Off-Grid Guru channel. Eric is a passionate alternative builder and documentarian who shares his stories with the world via the Off-Grid Guru channel on YouTube. As a sponsor of the Energy Sphere, he has been filming the natural oil demonstrations and posting periodically.
I'm like,
Eric and his father Bruce purchased land in Crestone and are going to be building their dream home while teaching others and building community. The project will be documented and shared online to empower and inspire family builders everywhere. Please welcome Eric and our builders panel to the stage. And I'm going to give the mic to our infamous Lisa Bodie so she can introduce everyone.
Everybody hear that? I'm gonna do my best to fight through the sniffles. Oh shit, actually, the sniffles. I think, maybe this is gonna have to be run and seriously. Because it's been raining here and it's been cold.
They'll stop by.
We got up here early Tuesday evening to get acquainted with the land and to help set up and to meet with these fine folks here who I've been very excited to have this conversation with. I wanted to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves in a second, but I just wanted to say that the discussion that we're about to have hearing the news. Oh, Crestone, right? Yeah. Oh, did you hear about the building code changes? No. Oh, it's coming fast. You gotta take down one of these houses. So, my friends who advised me to buy land here over the last 3 years, we've been researching land in Crestone, and I've been living in Taos, New Mexico. And, why I come to Colorado to buy land and build my house, I very well know that I can build an alternative structure in New Mexico. Well, Crestone's a very special place. And this entire experience is an educational one for me because this is just one town within a greater county. And I wanted to take an opportunity this year to host this discussion because of its importance. You know, it's not often that there actually is something that is so crucial that, you know, it kind of puts everything else to the side. And I'd like to come up and have fun and talk about here, talk about, you know, the way that you can hybridize a Christian, you know, all these new alternative materials that are coming out. That was last year. You know, last year the panel was comprised of people who were presenting new alternatives. This year the panel is are new acquaintances of mine, not long-time friends. I didn't even built with most of them. You know, I think Liza, you and I, this might be the first time we really have a good connection. But the reason why these people are here is because they are the people in the know, or they're the people who were at the spearhead of this movement that was basically just upon us when, you know, as I came to learn years ago, uh, they started to come new in the game. So for me, this was the first one. And in case y'all didn't know, there's no building codes here except for plumbing and electrical. We're going to get into that in a second. But just to get y'all to understand what I'm talking about here is basically the difference. Me and my father built the house that we built. This is basically to, you know, completely move it backwards to get engineer, architect stamp drawings and change our way. So after I got the call, I started to go to county meetings, get friends, and get educated. And what I learned was that if I really wanted to build the house of my dreams, we were going to have to learn plans soon, you know, way sooner than we expected. So I got to drafting them up. We got to putting plans in. And I don't want to tell you what the result was yet because we're going to get to that. I just want to let everyone know that these are the people who I found myself in discussions with trying to figure out if it was going to kind of moving forward. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves. I'd like you to let everyone know also your name, about your passions are. So living scary. And what's not really scary. Maybe it's start with short. I'm going to use this. Good. My name's Sean King. Sign and builder offices. And personally use sticking to acre of shelter yourself reading purposes and accessing standard games and labor powers. Sure. It's been my story.
Thank you, Sean. I'm so privileged to be up here with such good company, and I just a little gratitude. I'm so thankful for this beautiful stage we're on, and for this Crestone Energy Fair and all the volunteers. I've been coming to this for years, and am always inspired and learn more about community solving its own solutions for a sustainable life on this planet. My name is Liza Marin. I am resident of Swatch County for 5 years. Founding director of the San Luis Valley Local Food Coalition.
He's real stone.
I am also
So it's not plastic.
freshman county commissioner for Swatch County. And I wanted to be clear today, I am not here.
You made all these yourself? You deserve praise. That's cool.
That's why the prices are a little bit.
They're still cool. They're cool.
Is 1 and 0, so it's never rotated. So you're not going to see it on something else next year.
Local
I love them.
systems. The human need to shelter yourself.
Cheers, with this. Great. Look at this one. Maddie, look at these.
Some of the 3 years.
How much is this? Maddie. 20. Yep.
I think the Crestone my
Oh,
weeks
that's
to gain really enjoy my own structure I could come here and go about so that was excited to get involved. I was you guys really got involved with this for this.
Wow.
I'm not on the podcast. No.
For the bracelet, or yes. What's neat about these guys is that a lot of those are lava rocks, and you can add oil to them, like lavender. Girls love that stuff. Smell it. They're like, you always smell. Yeah. Anything you see that looks like they have holes in them, that's lava rocks.
I think, yeah, it's right.
Yes, it's very similar. Yeah, these are pure lava rocks, and you can add oil to them. You put oil in them, and they feels like it smells so good.
Demonstrations at the 30.
Yeah, girls.
But our group, as we started to pay attention to what was happening with building and happening across the country, we have another organization called Crestone Energy, separate from the fair, for the way that we can become advocates in the community and get involved in more of the political process with legislation. So we formed a group. We back up. I moved here in 2007. And I've been living in a tiny house, 50 square feet, completely off grid, and just absolutely love it. It freed me up from fish. It freed me from having that debt to where I could participate in the community on all these levels. So it was really 2 years ago in November of 2021, the county came and they were going to put a 900 square foot minimum across the unincorporated Swatch County. And so we formed a mindful land use solutions group, but under that energy exchange. So we could go to meetings, advocate for all of the constituents. And through that process, we just learned a lot, but we really came at it that we want to see new models. So often when we see a change coming at a government level, there's a reaction, a resistance, and we want to create that circle that we're all at the table equally, whether it's the commissioners, the planning commission, your inspectors, your engineers, the citizens, that we can really come up with solutions together in a very good way, really respecting each other, hearing each other's opinions, and get away from those old models of the us versus them. Like we have to together at this level locally to impact the county, the state. Oh my goodness.
Does everybody want her to stay?
Who wants Lisa Bodie to stay?
Yeah. Go get water. Yeah, you can let you live. Yeah, this conversation gets me jazzed up for that reason. I can see it later. These people, what Lisa's talking about, it's already valuable to me. There's not a community backing because really what happened was, it was. I mean, I don't want to miss. I really want you guys to tell the story. Like, I already said, he called me. He was like, "Yo, dude, you know what's going down? This is gonna affect you guys." And I said, "No, I don't know what's going on. Also, it's like 8 a.m. right now. God, what's going on?" But find out.
Yeah.
Builders.
That is primary and his political company. But I don't like.
I also just wanted to give context. So I'm not going to think about it. You have also it's like you know, it's something trusty, and soon.
Not even.
Yeah, so in 2022 there was an energy bill that was passed, and actually have really good intentions to increase the energy efficiency of the building in the state. And when I was campaigning, I was attending planning commission and county commissioner meetings, and I got to witness the response from the mindful land use solution groups. They came to fight for the square footage being considered. And it was a beautiful sharing of data using the land use code's own language to convince the planning commission that actually for the medium income, the medium cost of a house here and the cost of square footage, at least 50% of the folks in Swatch County couldn't even enter the housing market. But with the $250 a square foot for 150 square foot tiny home, that's a 37,000. See, we build it for you.